All right, guys, here it is. The 2023 nomination special from the Game Awards. We know that the Game Awards is dropping literally about a month from now in December, and we finally are getting the nominations. Now, a lot of the talk has been about Game of the Year. Which games are going to get nominated for Game of the Year? 2023 has been full absolute bangers. I'm excited to see which game gets nominated or which games get nominated for Game of the Year. In terms of other games, there's going to be so many other categories. Some of your favorite games are going to get nominated. I cannot wait. But without further ado, we're not going to waste any time. Let's get into it.
There have been so many great games in 2023, and on Thursday, December 7th, we will celebrate the best of the best.
December 7th.
10th Annual Game Awards,
Okay.
streaming live everywhere.
Dude, I'm
right
so
here
hyped.
at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles. I'm Jeff Keighley, and it is finally time to reveal the nominees across more than 30 categories. And to help select the winners, you can vote in all categories starting now at thegameawards.com. This is going to be a very special TGA filled with new game announcements from teams around the world, and in the coming weeks we will have much more to share.
Okay.
But now, I am honored to get to the task at hand. Here are the nominees as selected by our voting jury for the Game Awards 2023.
Let's go,
Best
baby.
performance, the nominees are Ben Starr as Clive, Final Fantasy XVI.
Okay.
Cameron Monaghan as Cal Kestis, Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
That's a
Elba
definite.
as Solomon Reed, Cyberpunk 2077, Phantom Liberty.
Idris will
Melanie
win.
Liebert as Saga
Ooh.
Anderson, Alan Wake 2. Neil Newbon as Astarion, Baldur's Gate 3. And Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker, Marvel's Spider-Man 2. For Best Ongoing Game,
Okay, guys, we're gonna pause it periodically because I do want to talk about some of these. We won't pause it for every single one, but there's something I definitely want to pause it for. Best performance is one of my favorite. I would say one of my favorite categories in the Game Awards, outside of obviously Game of the Year. I'm big on performances, and I feel like so many great, talented people put their heart and soul into these characters that we enjoy, and so. Yeah, I mean, some obviously big notable ones would obviously be Cameron Monaghan. I think is a huge one, definitely deserving. I feel like he's become a fan favorite, not just in the Star Wars community, but overall in general. One person that I do think really nailed it though this year would obviously be Idris Elba. Obviously, it was really cool to see him, a big name actor like the Idris inside a game like Cyberpunk. It almost feels unreal. It's like when we saw Keanu Reeves in the original trailer for Cyberpunk way back when. But I mean, there's some really great actors as well. I'm not too familiar with Baldur's Gate 3, so I don't want to talk. I don't want to touch on it. I haven't experienced that game yet. But Melanie Libbard as Saga Anderson and Alan Wake 2, absolutely phenomenal. And of course, we can't go without talking about Yuri Lowenthal as the one and only Peter Parker in Spider-Man 2. All of these names, I think, are well deserving of getting that award. Whereas last year, I believe it went to Christopher Judge. Another great pick. I would love to see Yuri take it. Melanie, I think, would be incredible, and obviously Idris would be great too. Honestly, anybody on this list would be great.
Yuri Lowenthal as Peter Parker, Marvel's Spider-Man
Anyway,
2.
I think those are really
For
good
Best Ongoing
ones.
Game, the nominees are Apex Legends, Cyberpunk 2077, Final Fantasy XIV, Fortnite, Genshin Impact.
Okay, this one's a lot easier. I think that Best Ongoing Game will definitely go towards Endwalker, Final Fantasy XIV. I'm surprised that game somehow is still going. Really strong fan base, strong player counts year over year. I feel like, yeah, Final Fantasy XIV, I definitely could see that taking it. I could also see it going towards, I also could see it going to possibly Fortnite. I definitely feel like Fortnite has definitely had, a resurgence. I don't think Apex Legends will get it. I feel like there's just way too much that Apex needs to work on. I definitely wouldn't consider that Best Ongoing Game, but I most certainly could see it going towards a game like Fortnite or Final Fantasy 14. Cyberpunk as well. I think Cyberpunk, we got to give it to Cyberpunk, guys. Cyberpunk has really made a resurgence ever since a incredibly rocky launch. I think a lot of people especially if you were playing on console, lost faith that this game was going to be anything more than a flop. But they really put in the work, they put in the time. And yeah, I think a lot of people would agree. It would have been nice for this game to release in a finished product. And I think most people who are playing on PC didn't really have any issues with the game, not many issues. But they've definitely made some incredible, notable achievements for Cyberpunk 2077 to where if you were to go and play now, you're getting just the best version of the game. I think it really is a nod to the developers. So, yeah, let's keep going.
In the category of Best Multiplayer presented by Discord, Baldur's Gate 3, Diablo 4, Party Animals, Street Fighter 6, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder got the nomination for Best Multiplayer Game. That is something that I'm kind of I didn't realize it had. I mean, I guess it does have multiplayer. Yeah, I guess that definitely makes sense. For me, I think it most certainly will probably end up going to. I think Street Fighter is definitely a great best multiplayer pick, as well as for some of the other nominations. Baldur's Gate 3, I would say Diablo probably would be a good one too. My pick, if I had to guess who was going to get this nomination, would probably be Street Fighter, or yeah, Street Fighter, possibly maybe Super Mario. We'll have to see. Anyway.
Art direction are Alan Wake 2,
Okay.
Hi-Fi Rush, Lies of P, Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay, so Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, first nomination. We already know that it's definitely going to get nominated for Game of the Year. It would be insane if it wasn't. Super Mario Wonder, was that also nominated? It was Lies of P. Okay, Super Mario Wonder was also nominated for Best Art Direction. I definitely could see it winning. This is a game I have not yet experienced for myself, but with what I have seen, it definitely looks like a game that is really creative, artistically. Definitely could see it winning Best Art Direction. Alan Wake 2, Lies of P. This is going to be a tough one, guys. This is going to be a tough one. I said, like, if I had to choose, I definitely feel like if I had to choose, I definitely would say Lies of P, probably like my pick for overall Best Art Direction. But Hi-Fi Rush also was another solid pick. So this one, we're just going to have to see. I mean, obviously, Tears of the Kingdom, there's a lot of winners here. A lot of games could win in this category. And honestly, I couldn't be mad about it.
Of the Kingdom. For Best Score and Music, the nominees are Alan Wake 2, composer Petri Alonko, Baldur's Gate 3, composer Borislav Slavov, Final Fantasy 16, composer Masayoshi Soken.
I got to give it to Final
Hi-Fi
Fantasy 16.
Rush,
I'm sorry.
Director Shuichi Kobori, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, composed by Nintendo Sound Team.
Ooh, okay. That's tough, guys. That's actually tough. Tears of the Kingdom did have a banging soundtrack. I'm not going to lie. I genuinely enjoyed a lot of the music throughout my time playing that game. But I also feel like there were, like, Hi-Fi Rush, I think, had a great musical score. It was very upbeat, was very energetic, electric, poppy. I really did enjoy that. Alan Wake 2, another game that had a great soundtrack. Ooh, this is tough, guys. This is tough. I mean, I don't want it to be a clean sweep. I kind of feel like Zelda will take it this category potentially, but I could also see Hi-Fi Rush, which is getting a lot of recognition. What is it, third nomination we've seen for this game? Hi-Fi Rush is definitely getting a lot of attention. It definitely deserves to win something. I just don't know what it's going to win. Alan Wake as well. I think Alan Wake definitely deserving a best score as well. We're going to have to see on this one, dude. This is getting, we knew this was going to be tough. We knew this was going to be tough. We knew that 2023, not just in terms of game of the year, but just in general, across the board, it feels like there are so many winners, so many games that deserve to win. Yeah, it was going to be tough either way.
The Best Audio Design nominees are Alan Wake 2,
Alan Wake again,
Marvel's Spider-Man 2, and Resident Evil 4.
Okay, I'm just going to say this right now. If Dead Space doesn't win Best Audio Direction or Best Audio Design, I'm calling rigged. Now, I'm not going to take it away from Resident Evil 4 or any of the other games that were nominated in this category, but I'm going to be real with you. Nobody had better audio design, especially in those zero G segments of Dead Space. Nobody could touch that. Nobody could touch that 10 years ago or however many years ago when it was early 2000s. Nobody could touch it back then, and no one can touch it now. Dead Space delivers some of the greatest audio in just about any game I've ever played. Like I said, those zero G segments when they it's almost like they invert the sound, they mute it. Like it's an art. It truly is. It is an art. That game, Dead Space, definitely deserves to win in that category. I stand on that 100%.
Best Adaptation recognizes excellence in authentically creating shows, movies, and other creative endeavors based on video game worlds and characters. Here are this year's nominees for Best Adaptation.
Okay.
Castlevania Nocturne, Gran Turismo,
Okay.
The Last of Us.
Yep. Stop right there. Stop right there. Stop right there. I'm going to help y'all out real quick. I'm going to help you out. Okay. The Last of Us is winning Best Adaptation. I mean, sometimes you get to a category and they mention a name and you're like, yep, that's it. I mean, they're nothing will touch that. I'm sorry. The Last of Us is, like I've said before, not only one of my favorite games of all time, but it is also one of the greatest video game to TV adaptations ever. So yeah, this was easy. This was easy. Last of Us is winning 100%.
The Super Mario Brothers movie and Twisted Metal.
I didn't hear anyone talk about Twisted Metal, and I know that part of that is because it came out literally in the midst of the strike, so no one really could promote it. But even with what I saw in the episodes that I watched of this, it was all right. It was all right. Outside of that, yeah, Last of Us is taking it. Super Mario Brothers movie was great, but it's also competing with the Last of Us season. Sorry, there is no competition. Next topic.
For Best Narrative, the nominees are Alan Wake 2,
Alan Wake 2,
Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty, Final Fantasy 16, and Marvel's Spider-Man 2.
Ooh. That made my stomach hurt. Like that's a tough one. That's a tough one. Many of these games I have played. Spider-Man 2 definitely deserves to be on that list. Final Fantasy 16 is another game that had great narrative. Baldur's Gate 3 is a game that I really wish I had gotten a chance to play. That is a game I'm just going to have to get to later. There's just too many games coming out, and Baldur's Gate 3 looked like a hefty one. And so, yeah, I barely, there's some games I barely finished. Anyway, yeah, this is going to be a tough category, guys. I feel like any of these games could take it. I'm really glad that Alan Wake 2 is getting recognition. That just makes me very happy. Like, even in the nominations, I hope it wins a couple of them, but just getting nominated, I think is a huge dub for the game for sure.
Games for Impact celebrates thought-provoking games with profound pro-social meaning. This year's nominees are A Space for the Unbound, Chance of Sonar, Goodbye Volcano High, Chia, Terra Nil, and Venba.
Damn, dude, I didn't play any of these. What the hell? How did I miss this? Games for Impact. Okay, I'm gonna just have to add all these to my Steam. I'm sure they're on Steam, right? Right? Possibly. I'm gonna have to add these to my list. Dude, I can't believe I haven't played any of these. That's crazy.
Best independent game, the nominees are Cocoon,
Okay.
Dave the Diver, Dredge, Sea of Stars, and Viewfinder.
My vote is for
For
Sea of
best mobile
Stars.
game,
My vote's for Sea of
nominees are
Stars for sure.
Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis, Honkai Star Rail,
Oh,
Hello Kitty Island Adventure, Monster Hunter Now, and Terra Nil.
maybe
Best community
Honkai.
Support acknowledges the game for exceptional support, transparency, and responsiveness to players. The nominees are Baldur's Gate 3, Cyberpunk 2077,
Okay.
Destiny 2, Final Fantasy 14.
What? Yo, are you serious? Is this a joke? Are they joking? Hold on. We gotta, did I miss that? Is that for real? Nope, that's real. Oh my God, dude. Who paid for this? I gotta know. Who paid for this? Somebody had to put a 20 in somebody's pocket and say, hey, throw us in there. It'll be funny. We'll get the community talking. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. And why is it crazy? Because just a couple weeks ago, Bungie they fired a lot of people, but they fired a number of people who were community support. So it would just be very funny for Destiny 2 to win best community support when they fired most of their community support. Oh, that's terrible, dude. They shouldn't even have, like, if I don't know if they're notified if they get nominated. Probably not, right? Probably not till literally right now. But yeah, I think they should take their name out of the hat. Like if they did somehow win this, I feel like they should give it to some. There's no way you want to put that up in the office. Like not this year.
Final Fantasy 14.
That's crazy.
And No Man's Sky.
Give it to anyone else.
Now it's time for Best Debut Indie Game, which recognizes a development team that hasn't been on the TGA stage before. In fact, these teams published their first game in 2023.
Oh, nice.
The nominees are Cocoon, Dredge, Pizza Tower, Venba, and Viewfinder.
Oh,
Best VR AR game, the nominees are
that's cool. I like that category.
Gran Turismo 7, Humanity, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Resident Evil Village VR mode, and Synapse.
Okay.
Content Creator of the Year, the nominees are Iron Mouse, People Make Games, Wackety, Spreen, and Cypher PK. What's your most anticipated upcoming game? Remember, this has to be a game that's officially announced. The nominees are Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Hades 2,
Okay.
Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, Star Wars Outlaws, and Tekken 8.
Ooh, dude, that's tough. That's tough. I mean, I think Hades 2 will probably win most anticipated. But, I mean, if it's not going to go to Hades 2, I definitely feel like it should go to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I feel like both of those games will take it. Nothing against Star Wars Outlaws. I just feel like, I don't know. I feel like we've just seen so little of it that, at least I've seen so little of it, I don't even really know what it is yet outside of the initial trailer that they gave to us. But Hades 2, I mean, Hades 2, need I say more? I feel like I've said enough, but yeah, that's going to be a tough category.
For Best Action Adventure Game are Alan Wake 2, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Resident Evil 4, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Okay. I mean, Best Action Adventure, yeah, I mean, I would say these were the best for sure. I mean, we've been through a number of categories, though, and we still have about halfway to go on categories. And I have not seen anything for Hogwarts Legacy. Like, I think that's kind of crazy. I mean, what are the categories? Narrative. Yeah, I guess there's other games that had better narrative. Like if you could only pick 5, right? I would say that there's definitely 5 games that went above that. Art direction, though, I mean, score and music. I feel like score and music could have been there. Multiplayer, I feel like this is why Hogwarts Legacy, I continue to say it should have had a multiplayer option. I think it's crazy that it didn't. That is a game that definitely gives strong MMO vibes. The fact that it didn't have a multiplayer option, I feel like they kind of shot themselves in the for real. Yeah, I mean, that's crazy, guys. Okay, we'll keep going, but I mean, if Hogwarts Legacy isn't in here somewhere, I'm gonna have some questions. Like honestly, I'm gonna have a few questions.
For Best Role-Playing Game, the jury selected Baldur's Gate 3, Final Fantasy 16.
I think Baldur's Gate will take
Rise
it
of P,
for sure.
Sea of Stars, and Starfield.
Best role-playing game. Yeah, Starfield got nominated. Good for them. You know, good for them. I'm not trying to hate. I'm really not. I'm not trying to hate. Best RPG. I guess you could consider it an RPG. I guess it is. I guess it is. I guess it is. Yeah, there's no way it's beating Baldur's Gate 3 though. Sorry, I think Baldur's Gate 3 will 100% take best role playing for sure.
In the category of best fighting game, the
Street Fighter
nominees
6.
are God of Rock,
Street Fighter 6.
Mortal Kombat 1,
Oh, I guess Mortal Kombat could win too.
Nickelodeon's All-Star Brawl 2,
Yeah.
Pocket Bravery, and Street Fighter 6.
Yeah, I think Street Fighter 6 will take it
Nominees
though.
for best
For
action
sure.
game are Armored Core 6: Fires of Rubicon, Dead Island 2, Ghost Runner 2, Hi-Fi Rush, and Remnant 2.
I think Remnant 2 will take best action game. That's my early prediction. Yeah, I think Remnant 2 will take it. I could also see Hi-Fi Rush getting, best action game too for sure. But between those two, yeah. I've not yet played Armored Core 6, so I can't really speak on that. But honestly, I haven't played Armored Core in so long. I think I'll get to it at some point, but it definitely wasn't a game that for me I was like, I need to play this. I wasn't drawn to it like that, I don't know. Taste change.
Innovation and accessibility celebrates games that are making our industry available and enjoyable to more people. Selected by a special committee of accessibility experts, this year's nominees for innovation and accessibility are Diablo 4, Forza Motorsport, Hi-Fi Rush, Marvel's Spider-Man 2, Mortal Kombat 1, and Street Fighter 6.
Okay.
Next up,
Pretty
Best
solid list.
Family Game. The nominees are
Super Mario Wonder.
Illusion Island, Party Animals, Pikmin 4, Sonic Superstars, and Super Mario Bros. Wonder.
We kind of saw that coming.
Sim
For
strategy
sure. We saw that
nominees
coming.
are Advance Wars 1 and 2 Reboot Camp, Cities Skylines 2, Company of Heroes 3, Fire Emblem Engage,
Okay.
and Pikmin 4. This year, these 5 games are nominated for Best Sports Racing: EA Sports FC 24, F1 23, Forza Motorsport, Hot Wheels Unleashed 2 Turbocharged,
It'll probably go to
and
Forza.
the Crew Motorfest.
Yeah, it'll probably go to Forza
Now
for
we'll
sure.
look at our esports categories, starting with Best Esports Game. The nominees are Counter-Strike 2, Dota 2, League of Legends, PUBG Mobile, and Valorant.
Okay.
Your Best Esport Athlete nominees are Demon 1, Faker, Hydra, Imperial Hal, Ruler, and Zywoo. For Best Esports Team, our committee nominated these teams: Evil Geniuses Valorant, Fnatic Valorant, Game & Gladiators Dota 2, JD Gaming League of Legends, and Team Vitality Counter-Strike. The Best
Nice.
Esports Coach nominees are Potter, Homie, Gumba, Ecstasy, and Zonic. And finally, the nominees for Best Esports Event are 2023 League of Legends World Championship, Blast TV Paris Major 2023, EVO 2023, the International Dota 2 Championships 2023,
Nice.
and Valorant Champions 2023. All right, you ready? It's time for our final 2 categories. Best Game Direction
Final 2?
recognizes
Oh, wow.
extraordinary creative vision and innovation in game direction and design. This year's nominees are Alan Wake 2, Baldur's
100%.
Gate 3,
100%.
Marvel's Spider-Man 2,
100%.
Super Mario Bros. Wonder, and The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom.
Solid picks.
Okay, finally, on behalf of the jury, I am proud to announce the 6 nominees selected for outstanding creative and technical excellence. The nominees for Game of the Year
Let's
at the
go,
Game
baby.
Awards are Alan Wake 2,
Let's
developed by
go.
Remedy Entertainment,
Alan Wake.
3 from Larian Studios,
Baldur's Gate we saw coming.
Spider-Man 2 from Insomniac Games,
Yes.
Resident Evil 4 from Capcom,
Dude, they did
Super
Resident Evil
Mario
2.
Brothers Wonder from Nintendo,
Okay.
and The Legend of Zelda:
Zelda.
Tears of the Kingdom.
We knew it.
Nintendo.
We knew it.
And there you have it. Those are your nominees for the Game Awards. A highly competitive year for sure, but who will come out on top? Well, you can help select the winners by voting now at thegameawards.com and on our Discord server. I hope you can join us live on Thursday, December 7th for the Game Awards. The TGA Orchestra will be back on this very stage, and as always, we'll pay tribute to our Game of the Year nominees. And yes, you can expect lots of news and updates on what's ahead for games in 2024 and beyond. So lock in your votes and get ready to celebrate 10 years of the Game Awards. We'll see you live on Thursday, December 7th.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, guys, let's get to the breakdown. The Game Awards 2023. This was a competitive year, and we knew it was going to be competitive. We've talked about it literally since last year's awards. We talked about how competitive many of the games are coming out. We put it on our calendar. We saw big games in January, February, March, and so on. 2023 has not disappointed. In fact, in many ways, it has exceeded many of my expectations. I feel like there's never been a shortage of things to play, and everything, it just felt like game after game you were playing was just hitting on every level, from Tears of the Kingdom to then Alan Wake 2 and Spider-Man 2 to so many other games in between. Yeah, it feels like this was definitely probably one of the most competitive years in gaming. Now, so many things I have to say about this. One, I feel like a lot of the games that were nominated deserve to be nominated. I don't like, typically we'll have a game, we'll have a Game Awards nominations, and we'll look at the games that were nominated. And typically I end up feeling like there was a couple games that like definitely didn't deserve to get nominated. Now, when it comes to Game of the Year, the only game that I'm glad just did not get nominated. I mean, there's no game I'm glad didn't get nominated, but I feel like there are games that I definitely feel like deserve to get nominated. But unfortunately, they can only pick 6. Like, looking at this list now of all the games that were nominated, I didn't see a single nomination for Hogwarts Legacy, which, in my personal opinion, I feel to be that's crazy to me. I'm not gonna say they got I do feel like they got robbed a little bit. All these categories, you couldn't fit a nomination in for Hogwarts Legacy. I definitely feel like Hogwarts Legacy was a very polished game. I enjoyed the hell out of it, and it's a game I would go back to and I would re-enjoy. And I feel like those are all the qualities and the makings of Game of the Year. So I am surprised a little bit that game didn't get nominated anywhere. Like, anywhere. Like, that's crazy. Even Star Wars Jedi Survivor got nominated at least once, I definitely feel like that was another game that definitely deserved to be nominated a couple times. And yeah, I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 we saw was nominated multiple times. Tears of the Kingdom, we expected that. Spider-Man 2, we expected that. Alan Wake 2 did surprise me, though. It was a game I personally really enjoyed. I felt like it had all the makings of a Game of the Year, but I wasn't sure how much recognition it was going to get in terms of nominations, if it even got nominated at all, or especially for Game of the Year. But not only did it get a Game of the Year nomination, it got nominations a ton of other places. So I really hope that Alan Wake 2 does win and does take home at least a couple of awards, because I definitely feel like that game deserves it. Tears of the Kingdom, though, we fully expected that. That was on every level, Tears of the Kingdom was exceptional. It's a game I would come back to again and again. It had an incredible score. It had awesome action. Adventure was there. Like, the story was incredible. So much to discover, so much to do. I mean, it's a 10 out of 10 experience for me. Yeah, and then, of course, Super Mario Wonder was one that really took me by surprise as well. That's a game I have not I've not played it at all, actually. I've seen gameplay for it. It looks amazing. I definitely can see why it got nominated for Game of the Year. But I feel like this happens every year when it comes to video games, and this is kind of one of the points that I want to drive at, is it definitely feels like when it comes to games, it often feels like the games that come out earlier in the year tend to get left behind a little bit for more of the more recent popular games. And, it's not to say that this is what happened here, but again, if I'm going back to my point about, Hogwarts Legacy, that is a game I definitely feel like deserved to be nominated, at least somewhere along this list of nominations. I think it's insane that it didn't get nominated. Now, did it deserve to get nominated for Game of the Year? Probably not. I mean, if you can only pick 6, I would definitely put it on the short list, right? If it was me, I definitely would put it on top 10 for sure, but it might not. It's still, even if I made the list, it still might not hit the top 6, I think there were just other games If we're gonna leave Tears of the Kingdom, Spider-Man, Alan Wake, I mean, that's already 3 spots right there. And there's so many other games that I would have potentially thrown in long before I threw in Hogwarts Legacy. But I do still feel like Hogwarts Legacy deserves some kind of recognition somewhere, even if not in the Game of the Year category. So I will say I do feel like that game got robbed a little bit. Remnant 2 did get Remnant 2, I think, got a couple nominations. I at least saw one. So I mean, you know, hey, I'll take it. Remnant 2 was a game that came out of nowhere. Baldur's Gate 3 swept. I feel like they got a ton of nominations everywhere. Final Fantasy 16 also got a couple nominations. I hope they take the crown with something. I feel like that game was incredible. So yeah, overall, guys, I feel like this year's Game of the Year nominations were spot on. I feel like every game that got nominated deserved to get nominated. I know a lot of people will say, you know, why did Resident Evil 4 get nominated? It was a remake. And I say this all the time, and I'll say it again. A remake is, in my opinion, in my eyes, it is a brand new game. It is a game that came out, especially if it's a game like Resident Evil 4 that came out over 10 years ago, and then they remake it and change it up a little bit and add something new. I still feel like that's a new game that deserves, and that game, it by itself deserves to be nominated. You know, if it's good, and I feel like Capcom definitely did their thing with that. They fully, you know, that I feel like that game fully deserved to get nominated. So yeah, in terms of the nominations, guys, I feel like it was really spot on. This was a competitive year. 2023 will definitely go down in history as one of the most competitive years in gaming, just because there were so many great games. This does not happen very often, if ever, that the calendar is just so full of banger after banger. I'm really happy about this year, and I cannot wait to discuss the games that win, the games that don't win. There's going to be a lot of discussion to be had as we head into the new year, a new year of games, and so much more to look forward to. But let me know what category you're most excited for. For me, best narrative, I think, best art direction, Game of the Year, obviously, and so many others. I cannot wait to talk to you guys about and see what it all shakes out, you know, how it all shakes out this year on December 7th when we watch the Game Awards. We're probably going to end up watching this live together on twitch.tv/thatguyrye. I would love if you guys would join me. I cannot wait to experience this with you guys. The Game Awards is kind of like my Christmas. It's just fun to celebrate and remember some of the games that came out this year and just kind of reminisce on how great this year was for gaming. So yeah, a lot to look forward to, guys. But yeah, again, let me know in the comment section, what was your favorite game this year? What was a game that you think should have gotten nominated that didn't? Or just any general comments you have about the Game Awards and whether or not you're excited. As for me, guys, thank you so much for watching. Drop a like on this video if you do enjoy. Subscribe if you're new here. All that good YouTube stuff. And I am going to go vote. And you should do the same. But until next time, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.